Winds of change are always blowing. You taking the Willie or the Julio part? Good morning, you guys. It's time for a scuttlebutt. Wait, this is so great. Do you remember this song? To all the men I've loved before, I'm talking to you this morning. I want to do a special thing. Yesterday I was having another gripe session with one of my closest friends, just about the condition of her relationships. I'm still always like surprised that I'm single. And, I don't do online dating apps anymore. I did when I went to LA, and that was, oh man, I'll never do that again. I mean, I called it swipe culture, it was just like constant ghosting and disappearing acts and just absolute immaturity. And most of the people were actually married in polyamorous, like clusterfucks, and just all of it was just too much for me. I was just like, I'll wait. I'm gonna wait and meet someone the old-fashioned way, like drunk at a bar. The old-fashioned way. This is the best name for a bar, honestly, you guys. It's up the street. It's called Where I Met Your Mother. Isn't that great? So anyway, I got this big bruise. I had a wild, fun week. I really had fun all last week. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about the astrology, which is also related to why I'm doing this video this morning. I needed to come on and do a little scuttlebutt to prepare all the men followers, watchers that I have out there, because I want to just let you know, I want to alert you to the fact that I'm going to be giving you a beautiful gift. And I wanted to give you a little bit of time in case you have to kind of remove some doubts and judgments and tune it out or any of that stuff. I wanted to give you some time to sit with it and get prepared, because to me, it's like one of the greatest gifts that I could give anyone. And that is speaking an energetic language. In relationships, it's so hard to talk about stuff, and we're all so different, and our perspectives are so different. And so when I was younger, I took everything so personally, and like it was really hard for me to see other people's perspectives and all this stuff. And then when I got into astrology, I was like, oh, this is such an amazing way for me to understand myself and in relation to other people, and also to understand different types of energy, because everything is energy and no one taught us this stuff. So I'd like to do just like a little monthly thing and just go through the wheel of the zodiac. I've been wanting for a long time to do a show called Zodiac Follies, like a monthly astrology party thing, so maybe I'll do like a 1.0 version of it or something on this channel. That would be really fun. So the reason that this is such a gift and why I think it's so important is because it's a visual symbolic language tied into the stars and gets us out of linear time. It's based on cyclical time. So like the meta layers of how it has worked in my life to just tune myself to the energy of like what's going on, and to start picking up on it, and you feel into it. And so then it gets to, people get uncomfortable with it because they think it's like predictive, and it's not necessarily predictive because we have choices. Some things are fated. Like I do believe that we make like soul contracts to do certain things, with certain other souls and, in this lifetime. And that's like the work of this lifetime. But it's so beautiful that we get this map. It's the treasure. It's like the ultimate treasure map. And it is like the impression of light. It's exactly a photograph of our energy the moment we took our first breath. And so when you are, give it like a tool like this, like a map. So like when something goes off the rails or something's going on, I can go back and look at my chart and see where is this happening in my life? Like what area of my life is it happening? So, it looks like this. I keep copies of them. I have another copy right there. I just keep my chart around, and it's taken me a long time. And this is the other thing. So astrology, and you might as well learn it. Like, why not learn something? I mean, if you're spending time with me on this channel, like, why not just like learn a whole new skill, just like in the background? Why not? You know, so you have a better, at least a basic grasp, you know, and you don't have to go like super deep into it, but to get the basics of just even your sun, rising, and moon signs, I mean, just changes your life. And like I said, it takes you out of linear time, puts you into cycles of time. So and this is such a beautiful time, really, because we're resetting such a huge cycle with this Neptune cycle, the Pluto cycles. Like, the outer planets don't move, you know, signs very often. Like, I think the Neptune one is 16 or 18 years or something. So to go through the whole wheel of the zodiac is like more than one lifetime. So, and it's resetting to 0 degree of Aries, which is the start of the wheel of the zodiac. It all starts with Aries. Like, this is the new year right now. Like, it's like happening. I'm like so excited because I'm like, wow, we really get an opportunity to start consciously a whole new cycle. And I'm here for it. I had a great week last week. I got a ton done. I was in a great mood. I was up singing every morning. I was waking up singing, going to bed singing. I just had a great time. And then this weekend, like, all kinds of crazy stuff happened. I had a fan who came up to visit who was in Baltimore back in the day and used to work at the theater where I used to do my Christmas shows before I got canceled by the Wokesters. And he was just like, you know, I just really want you to know how much your shows meant to me. Like, it really changed me. And he took me out for beer, and it was just like, God, you guys, it was so nice. And then we were at, you know, my favorite place to go see music down the street, and it was a band called Mallow Hill, who's like their local, and they had the place packed to the gills with like their friends, their family, literally like their gay aunts were there telling me, I mean, the neighbors, like, it was like they were all, and some of them were siblings in the band. So it was like packed to the gills with like their hardest core, like people who love them most, like singing, hugging, crying, introducing people. It was just like so beautiful. Anyway, and I stayed out later than I should after my friend left, and saw the next band. And then, of course, I drank too many beers, and I said something to the bouncer. I don't even know what I said. I don't think it was like that. I don't know. I'm like, I'm not usually like that person, you know, whatever. So, but he like chucked my debit card into the street, which is like, it's like a mess. It's like there's a patio, a deck, you know, the parking patio things that they made during COVID, they sell that. And then the tightly packed with cars. You can barely walk between because there's barely any parking down there. And I could not find my debit card. And I was just like so pissed, but also I was like, oh, forget it. Like, I'm so drunk. I gotta just go like pass out. And I was like, and then by the time I had whatever, talked my head off and flirted with some people and came back around, I got some text messages that my bank was like, there's $80 charge at Royal Farms and some other stuff. And so it was handled right away. It's all being, you know, disputed, and it's all fine, and they're sending me a new card. It was just an inconvenience. So I was like, oh, that's also Mercury retrograde on an eclipse day. Like, that was just ridiculous for no reason. But I'm just like in such a good mood, you guys. I'm really excited to be feeling this change. Finally, I just feel like we're on the other side of something, and I really feel it deeply. So yesterday, a friend of mine came over, and you know, we were just talking our usual concerns about the menfolk, especially like in our generation and stuff. Because I'm just like, you guys, like, we've been needing you guys to show up like in your best form. And so related to astrology is tarot, which is another really fantastic tool that gives you like a whole language to talk about dynamics and just to understand the nature of your character, also based on the elements. So like, if you only get the parts about astrology related to elements, if you start to just understand people as having that element, like I have a lot of water in my chart. I'm very sensitive, empathic, psychic, like that's very prominent in my chart. I don't have a lot of fire. I have a lot of air. So it's a lot of, I think a lot. I read a lot. It's a lot of words, stuff like that. So even if you only take in the part about the elements, again, it's just a very useful, very simple way of starting to understand the energy of different people and different combinations. So tarot is just like that. So like, in the world of tarot, my complaint is that dudes today are more pages. So it goes, there's the 4 elements of the wands, the cups, swords, and pentacles. And in the cosmology, I think it's a hermetic order, which I really like this order. You would have to master your passion, which is the fire wands first, because it's just raw passion that starts the chain of events, right? You got to have that Aries, like you want to start a project, get an Aries on it. Then we have to master our emotions, the water, right? We have to like make sense of all this that's going on internally, so it's not causing a lot of damage, know what to do with it, where to put it. Then we have to master our mind, swords and words, right? Discernment. Then if you do all that, we have mastered the pentacles, the earth element. So then it gets to show up in material reality the way that we're intending it to. So it's many paths of personal mastery. And so it goes 1 ace through 10, and then page, knight, queen, king. And these have nothing to do with gender. So that's also like an annoying thing right now. And I even am starting to resent that we have to do these disclaimers about like identity and gender stuff. Like, I'm a spiritual person. You are not your body, like, period. So you just incarnated in this body, and if it's like, do whatever you want with it, of course. It's like, but I just don't see it as like a thing to wrap your whole identity around, because identity is very changeable and fluid, and we have many past lives and many things inside of us, and it's just really basic and kind of boring to me. So I don't even like having to say like, I'm not talking about gender. But I'm not talking about gender, okay? Like, you have a queen inside of you. You have a king inside of you, okay? You also have all of it. You have all of it inside of you. So, but my complaint is, and what we were talking about yesterday, is that the dudes that we know and have been around and showing up are like in the page and knight department. Pages are like the first start of the path to mastery. It's very youthful. It doesn't come in with a lot of energy. It's like a page. Like, I'm here to actually take something, not to give something. A knight, similarly, it's like here for a good time, not a long time. Passing through. It's like they're not building the kingdom. They're out running the fucking hills. Then you get to queen. So then you have to do all the internal work to have it show up as the king, right? And then you master all 4 of those, and then you get to be an empress, an emperor, like the major arcana. So it's just a really nice way of explaining these things. And then, and one of the reasons I love YouTube tarot readers so much too, is that it gives you an opportunity to think through different scenarios. Like, oh, if I chose this, if I really like pursued this person, or this is what could be going on with their side of the story, so I can understand. It takes some pressure off of me, and I can understand myself in relation to these events in just a totally different way. And it's just, opens up so much more possibility. And it's like, it is about personal accountability, right? It's about like, okay, well, who are you in this life? And what are you doing? Are you just bringing a page amount of energy to your relationship? Is that what you're doing? Like, it's not going to work. Especially if you're trying to build anything real or lasting in the material world. Like, I believe in partnership because first of all, I don't think we're here to do it alone. I think we are really meant to do it together. And my favorite part of like the King Arthur story is like when Camelot was really like banging and everything was on, the land was fertile, like abundant, flourishing, even the land. And then when it fell, the land went into ruin as well. And like, we've been living through this, you guys, and it's like, we are ready to rebuild the kingdom for real, you know, but it's gonna it takes everybody. And you know, divine union, sometimes people call it like a kingdom spouse, or like you know, like who you came here to build your domain, like that. Like, I don't think we can do it alone. I don't think we should do it alone. I don't think, I've been out here trying to do it alone, and it just can only get so far. And also, I'm like, ready. I'm ready for that partner, you know? So I'm like, there's a lot of just life choices. Place is very important to me. You know, it has to be, the energy of the land has to be welcome and supportive of whatever's being built. I've had experiences where it's not, and I know what that feels like. And I've had experiences where it is. Like, Baltimore has always been a place that I could let my freak flag fly, and they love it. There are characters here. I mean, you know, and even though I don't want to live in a city full time, when I have to be in a city, this is it. I love it here. You know, I love so much about this freaky deaky place. And it's on the water. I'm a mermaid, y'all. So, yeah. So I'm gonna start just working on this Aries bit. We're just gonna go through the whole wheel of zodiac, and I do invite you to try to learn a new visual symbolic language. The other thing about astrology, I will say, that I just think is such a gift, is that it literally, sometimes you look at how it's nested, how the cycles are, and like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the orbit pattern of Venus, but it's like a rose. It's like, it just like blows your mind, like the stacked, interdependent, nested. It's a nested system, not a hierarchy. It's like one thing supports the other. It is just so beautiful. Like, it literally makes you fall in love with the creator, because it's so beautiful. And it's like, and we understand that like through nature a little bit, but it's like so comprehensive that like our little human minds can barely wrap our minds around it. So when you see like some evidence of it like that, it's just like, this is a beautiful gift. This is a beautiful life. This is a beautiful place. And the duality, and yes, it went too far and it went off the rails, but like, it's coming back, you know, and we get to be here for it. We get to experience it. We get to create it. We have a drop of creator in us, source sauce. This is our soul. We are creators. We are little mini micro versions of the creator. And so the whole idea of duality, of light and dark, of having these things that are always having to be in balance, because that's what astrology really is. It's about the balancing. I like to think of it like a sound mixing board, you know, where the planets, and you're like, really just want everything balanced. You're not trying to have it up here or down here, you know, like you're trying to bring everything into harmony. And it's just a way to do that, and to understand the disharmony and how to navigate it more gracefully. So anyway, I'm excited to start this little journey with you. And I just, like I said, this is for primarily the menfolk out there, just because I've felt a lot of resistance from y'all. It's not about it being fated. It's not about like whatever, reading your zodiac sign in Cosmopolitan magazine. It's like much deeper, you know. I mean, some of the astrology that I like best are into, it's called evolutionary astrology. So it's about our soul's growth and maturity. And yeah, it's just so beautiful, you guys. It's really great. So I've been a passionate student of astrology since 2017. And you know, I do want to just say that it didn't just like click for me right away. It's not, and so, for some people it does, if you just have that kind of mind, you know, but it's taken me a long time. Like, you just kind of let it wash over you, and whatever sticks, like, focus on the stuff that sticks in the moment. Cause like, I'm at the stage of my learning where it was like, I had to learn the signs, and then the houses or planets. Then I learned the planets. Then I learned about the houses. Then now I'm starting to learn about the degrees. So it's getting into like the minutia about like, oh, what is this going to feel like? What is this going to look like? When has this happened before? So, you know, it took all these years, you know, really like studying it, following it, constantly looking back at my chart. And not everything like just was like came to memory really easily. It's been like a very slow trudging, like just not worrying about the stuff that I don't get yet and just be like, well, I'll just take what I do get. So I just wanted to mention that too. It's a different type of learning than we're accustomed to. And so it's not always just like the easiest thing. But along with that, I am also going to weave in some tarot because I'm starting to design my own tarot deck, which has been a long time coming. And it's, you know, a big project that I want to do because it's 78 different cards. And so that's a lot of illustrations. But I'm like, okay, I've kind of laid out a plan for myself to go, you know, buy the elements first. And so just take it in chunks and try to make progress on it. So, and it has correspondences with astrology. Every card has, you know, elements and a nature to it. So they do correspond to each other, which is again another beautiful nested symbiotic system. Visual symbolic language is also what I'm about as a visual artist because there's a lot of things that words are very crude for, like you know, like when we just get an intuitive hit and it's just in our gut and it's just like we just know, then you have to take all this time to kind of like put words into it, and they're very clunky. And the spirit world and our dream world speaks to us in images, you know, like even or just psychic transference where you're with someone and it's like you're having a conversation, but it's not the word, you just know what's going on. So visual symbolic language is another way. It's like having a Rolodex of images of words essentially, or ideas, concepts, references, things like that your unconscious can scroll through and use, that you understand the meaning. It can have a symbolic meaning that brings more to it than just the surface image or whatever. So anyway, to me, it's very important as an artist. Like I try to maintain my own visual symbolic language, like through my paintings and stuff, and also, you know, be conditioning and training people to expand their own visual symbolic vocabulary. Yeah. I think I've covered it all. All right. That's it. I'll be back soon. Mwah. Can't wait to do this with you guys, actually. It's going to be really fun. We'll let Willie and Julio take us out here. Look at them. To all the men I've loved before.